Hey, so my song Jeff's Big Metal Bong is up and ready to be seen by people, heard by people. Um, and I wanted to just talk about like why I wrote it and just give you some interesting tidbits that just kind of explain the song. I mean, first of all, why is it called Jeff's Big Metal Bong? uh, so first off, it was. Wait a minute, this was weird lighting, isn't it? Is this better? Yeah. But I want to sit. Hang on. We're gonna. Let's have a chat. There, sit here. But yeah, so I was sick for a really long time. I've explained that or whatever. That's why I disappeared for whatever. And but I am a musician through and through, baby. I cannot stop truly creating. Even if I can't record, I'm creating in my head. I wrote so many songs in my head when I was sick. And sometimes I really did really want to record. But I didn't have it in me to like write, to like really plan. And so I just started making simple, like jam creations, just very spontaneous, where you just kind of like make it off a riff. And so the riff that started, just Big Metal Bong is this. I'll show you. Hang on. So in the song, I play this in kind of multiple ways. I think sometimes it's a little open. And then sometimes I do it up here. I almost play something different. But I mean, that's the thing. I just kind of found that little chord progression infectious, and it kind of changes in a weird place, And then I thought this bass part that I was hearing in my head was infectious, where it's like The other thing that I was playing around with was because I'm in this place where, I just feel like we've been using the same drum beats for so long. Like, everybody uses the same drum beats. Hang on, I'm gonna go upstairs to the drum kit and I'll show you what I mean. All right, I hope you guys can hear this. The speaker I'm using doesn't get very loud. But anyway, so, like I was saying, I'm into trying to come up with new beats. And, usually the beat that you always hear is some variation of hi-hat or ride or crash is keeping the straight rhythm. So, or... That's what you usually hear, and then the kick is usually on the 1, and the snare is usually on the 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how it usually is, And that's how like 95% of, Western music is done. I came up with this groovy little thing that I think is cool, where the snare would usually be, I just hit with my feet the kick and the hi-hat. And then instead of keeping time on the hi-hat, I keep time on the snare. And we get... And that's what I'm playing when we play that groovy little... And so that's where that came from. So the song started out with a jam that didn't have any lyrics whatsoever at all. It was just, that's a cool groove on the guitar. I'm gonna add my new little funky beat. And then because that beat is so simple and there's not a whole lot to do with it and it just goes the whole time, I added a whole bunch of shakers. You got this shaker that's going crazy in certain sections. And the whole thing to me just feels very like tribal and groovy and like digging in. And it makes you want to just, you know. And so that's where that came from. Now let's get out of this hot freaking room. Every single time I record drums and it's not winter time, just know I am suffering. But yeah, so that's basically all you really need to know about the music for the song, because other than that, it's a jam. We've got a guitar that's just improvising, and it just was playing whatever I thought sounded cool. I was playing stuff in the holes, and then I had the whole thing kind of pick up, and I think it has no metronome, so I think the tempo kind of picks up as the song goes. I'm not positive about that. But the lyric, why is it called Jeff's Big Metal Bong? Which somebody who found it on Instagram kind of pointed out that a metal bong would be pointless. It would heat up so much that it would like burn your mouth. And it's like, yeah, it would. But like I said in the other video, this was back when all I could do was watch TV and all that stuff. And in that time when the Katy Perry thing happened, right? She went up into space and everybody seemed like they were on drugs or something, or maybe it's not drugs, maybe it's that they're just so like spiritual that they just like had this kind of thing going on. And then she let the daisy go in the spaceship, and she was like, oh, a daisy floats in space. And then she came back and she kissed the ground and acted like, you know, being up in space for 10 minutes was like, oh, I'm finally back on Earth and now I appreciate. And then they asked her like, so what did you learn when you were in space? And she was like, or what did you feel when you were in space? Love. I just felt love. And I was just dying laughing at that. And I was watching it while I was building this groove. And that's when I said, okay, I know what this song is about. It's going to be about this wacky ass situation. And so my lyrics are never like straightforward. They're never super planned out. They're stream of consciousness. I tend to write them in about 15 minutes, and then I spend a couple of days refining anything that I think is too corny or weird. And that's it, you know? And so I wrote it really fast, and I think in my mind, it's kind of like everybody's high. This is some big, stupid, like, vanity trip, and they're all, you know, whatever. So Jeff's Big Metal Bong is Jeff Bezos's ship that he put them in. And so I'm kind of saying that this is just a excuse for them all to get high, both literally and metaphorically, because it's trying to, you know what I mean? It's kind of a loose metaphor kind of thing. And then, you know, everything else just came from there, you know? I can be fearless, I can be strong, I'll go to outer space in a bong. Woman is me on Jeff's flying machine, you know, and then just all of it from there. So that's the story behind the song. That's how it got written. That's, you know, whatever. Now you know, and I would love it if you would please give it some love. I know the video turned out a little bit weird. I'm still learning stuff. So it's like phone resolution or whatever you call it. Phone, I don't know, ratio. But yeah, I still think it's pretty cool, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check me out in the doobity-doos. Bye! Oh, and don't forget, tomorrow is when I release my cover of the Beatles song Dig It. It's gonna be awesome, and I filmed myself playing the whole thing, so it's a live video. You're gonna literally see me recording it.